This is Two Shy Guys a Mile High. We back again.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Two Shy Guys a Mile High. Episode 5. This episode we're going to talk about change.
Man.
You got P-Wil in the building.
WB. I see changes. Dun, 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 dun. That's that Tupac. It was terrible, but yeah, that's just the way it is. So you're going to get what you get.
Al in the building for sure, man. Just as always, man, just blessed and honored to be here with y'all, bro. Like it's we can't be remiss, and we gotta start it off right, man. Giving honor to the man upstairs. Just I appreciate y'all, man. So change, man. That's
Now we got to get into an aspect. We got to define change. We always start off with defining change. How do you deal with change? And then, so let me start off with you. How do you feel about change? What is change to you?
To WB. Change to me is doing something different that has an effect in your life. And then knowing that, I think that it's neutral in its state, but it can be either positive or negative. And I'm just going to expound on that later.
Hey, that was like some Bill Nye, science guy, Cosmos stuff. I like it. Yeah, man, I think change definitely has an understanding piece to it. It's going from one state to another, right? That's, for me, that's what I think it is, right? Kind of like, not an evolution per se, because I mean, I think that's just a complete change, right? But I mean, I'm talking about there's incremental change as well, right? There could be different levels of change, but if you're just in the whole thick of things, high level, I think it's just going from one state to another. Yeah. And I'll leave it just at that for right now.
Say, to make or become different in a way, like a modification. And like you were saying, like it's almost like a transformation, but I don't want to say that because that'd be taking it too far, or it depends on how you look at it. But when I thought about change, I thought of transformation. Okay. It's some type of transformation. You got to change something. You got to make a modification to some part of your life, or to whatever's happening within that moment. It's something about that is becoming different from the normal routine.
Yeah,
or what you're used to.
And routine. Wow. I mean, so getting caught in this loop, right? This feedback loop. That in itself, is insanity, right? Just doing the same thing. Like I'm not saying you can't have feedback, right? You do something and expect something to come back to you, but when you're doing the same exact thing, right, it's literally insanity. Yeah. There has to be a change of something to get to a level that you want to get to, right? So it's not like for instance, when we first started this, right? It was like we had a little bit of structure, right? Started off, doing it how we want to do it, but we realized we have to change some things just to stay focused on what we want to convey. So we've been doing little tweaks here and there, right? And that's changing itself.
Exactly.
And hopefully, as these continue to come out and you guys continue to listen, you're gonna see our changes happen. You're gonna see change in us always, and that's what I'm saying. It's just it has to happen for you to get to whatever place you're trying to go in your life, right?
Yeah, even changes can be positive or negative. In this fact, we're using it as a positive note to take ourselves to the next level, use that platform to increase our knowledge base. And it could be negative or positive, though it still involves adjusting to something new. And it's positive or negative, big or small, change disrupts our normal routine. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was saying. And facing change with an unknown cause, like it can be worrisome, you can be uneasy about it, and that's just our anxiety kicking in. Right. And people... that anxiety might take over somebody. Yeah. And that's how I start creating that negative aspect on it. But we got to use it. You got to channel that change and use it to create something positive or to help yourself achieve that next level.
And I think we just want to convey just how can change affect your life? If it's positive or negative, it's a byproduct. How can it affect your life? How are the small modifications lead to transformation, leads to growth? I think we're going to have to hit on this in multiple episodes because it could be a very big topic, and we want to just make sure we scope it in the right situation so we don't go too far down the rabbit hole because, man. But one thing that you did said that resonated overall in my heart and my soul is the fact that the listeners are going to be able to see our changes lead to our growth too. So that's why this podcast is very exciting. And that's why I think it's going to be beneficial for not only us, but other people that actually listen to it as well. Because change is tough. And the thing with change that I'm starting to realize, you just got to make sure that you scope it right so you don't try to do too much at once.
Yeah.
I'm learning to grow into the leader that God wants me to be, both inside and outside of work.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a very 0 or 100 type of person. Balance is just a struggle in my life, which I'm trying to work and grow towards. But knowing that and knowing my personality, how do I bite off the right chunks to not tweak anything? I had a definitely good conversation last night with my wife, which is going to change me and lead to growth. She sees me every day, knowing the fact that when I try to make change, I try to do too much. And she's like, can you just focus on the simple, basic, most first level thing, and then just start adding to it instead of just say, I'm going to just change everything. Just start with one thing and then build on it. Yeah. But that's just the complications in my brain.
Well, no, but I mean, let me take that, P, if you don't mind. Like think about that right there. That statement in itself, though. You know what I'm saying? For you to be aware of that she was giving you some advice, not from like that place of like, I'm trying to change you as a person, but she sees that you're trying to make some adjustments in your life, and you're going about it in a more grandiose way instead of kind of incrementally, right? You see what I'm saying? That's where I'm saying, like, you have changed, right? I've seen you grow and change just from, being around you, man. It's been over like, what, 6-7 years, probably longer than that.
But it's longer than that, man.
So,
man. You keep shortchanging me.
I got pre-Alzheimer's. Okay, give me a break.
Yeah,
but go back to that. Like, you really, if you're not, you got to be aware too that something has to happen, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. It really comes with sometimes experience too. Like you could be doing the same thing, thinking you're making a change, and you're really just in the hamster wheel doing the same thing over. It might look like perceptionally that you've made a change, but you still have these old routines that you're used to. And she was just saying, like, look, I see you're trying to make a difference in your life from somebody who loves you. Let me tell you what I see, so you can go down the right path when you're making this change, so you don't go back. You see what I'm saying?
And that ties also into like the growth that what happens, because like old you, and not saying because saying you could have took the situation anyway, but old you might have reacted in a different way if somebody telling you like, oh, okay, the normal me is this is how we react in this, and somebody giving you some type of advice, you can take it as criticism. So acknowledging the change and then being able to face your fears and actually come to agreement and saying like, okay, they're not doing this to put me in any type of harm, they're doing this to help me better myself. And then you got to be able to visualize that everybody's not out here to harm you. You got somebody in your team that's telling you something that may help you to become a better you. Like, it's giving you that chance. You got to face your fears. You got to, swallow your pride sometime. And then, man, I think, me personally, like, sometimes I might have more so my pride or my ego, and I got to channel that to let me know that.
Humble yourself.
Yeah, you got to humble yourself, man. And that's what the frat taught me, man. Shout out to Phi Beta Sigma, Trinity Incorporated. I got to put that in there.
Man, you just segued into my entire yesterday, man. That's a perfect segue. I was talking to you about it on the phone last night. Right?
Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. I'm ready for the laughs. Let me get in position to hear this story.
Perfect segue, man. Like, I couldn't even. That's the alley for the century, guys. Hey, man, you talking about letting that pride get to you, man, and realizing that there are people in your corner that, even though it might seem like it's harsh, but they're trying to push you in a direction that they know that you can go, right? And they're trying to get you out of your comfort zone. They're trying to get that ego out of you. So case in point, man, this is yesterday started off so crazy. In the morning, our alarm system been going crazy, right? Our garage door sensor, whatever, right, going crazy. So of course the alarm goes off at 6 a.m. Now we got this big review next week. I'm already on the edge. I'm like, I want to make sure my content is straight.
No, you gotta make sure
my content's straight, right? So we've been in there popping all week. Boom, boom, boom. So it's Friday. I was like, man, I'm working from home. I shoot my boss a mail and say, yo, I got some things going on at home, work from home. She was like, cool. We had like 16 people coming to the house. I'm exaggerating, but it was like we had things that we're going to work into me being at home, right? Right. The alarm wake me up at 6. Check it. My watch didn't wake me up. I looked down at 7:30, 8 o'clock. My boss was like, yo, this is not the time for you to be working from home. We need you in the office. Because we just need everybody on deck. We need everybody on deck because we in here. We need to get some stuff closed out, and we really would like you in here, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And I see that, bro. It's like 7:45, 8 o'clock. I got a 10 o'clock meeting I got to be at. I was gonna call into the meeting, So I had to on the flip, just, babe, sorry, gotta go. She was like, oh, she saw that. She's like, go do what you gotta do. But I had to change my whole day out. But it ended up working out great. So I thought it was gonna be terrible. Like, oh man, this is horrible. So I get to work, man, kudos right in the door. You know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, we thought we were worse in our situation, but we're really not. The guy that we're presented to is like the second in command of the company. Like, second in command of the company. So this is like every month we got to present to him. So this is serious, right? So his deputy comes in and we do our pre-review, and he's like, hey, we thought it was going to be a bad situation, that we didn't have the numbers right, but we did, right? He was like, hey, this is okay. It's like, actually, this is what he likes. We need to celebrate this. And my boss was just like, hey, oh, okay. You know, kind of giving me that look like, all right, I thought we were worse off, but we're really not. You know what I'm saying? You actually moved the needle. And I thought you did. You know, so it was just that I thought my day was going to go a certain way. I thought I was getting chewed out. I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It was more of a, hey, we want to see you in here because we know you're doing good work. The deputy's coming in. Don't work from home today, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Come on in. And I'm in my mind, I was like, damn, this has messed up my whole day. You know, I could have went in there negative. I could have went in there just my head down. I came in there, let's get it. And it was just that whole thinking. I was like, okay, why am I going to the place of negativity at this point? Just because it didn't work out the way I thought it should have worked out today. We had the day mapped out. Like, everybody was coming to the house. I had to sign some paperwork for some refi, all this stuff. I'd adjust right there.
Yep. And
adjusting and adapting.
Man, you hit on a bunch of good stuff right there that I have to decompose to try to get my thoughts out in the best manner where people don't get sick of my ass. So, you talked about you woke up in the bad state, so you were already late, you're coming with the negative mentality, and then you got your boss texting you the political correct way to say, where are your antennas, pimping?
Right,
where are you?
Right.
But a little of that is, you know, you also building up the fear, like, man, the ramifications of I'm being late, what's going to happen, and the head honcho is in town.
Yeah.
You're already coming from a negative place, and that's that fear, that false evidence that appears real, which is fear.
Right.
So you're going, you get there, at least, you know, your beautiful woman next to you, they woke you up and said, hey, go do your thing. She didn't put you in a negative mindset and be snapping on you, be like, why you got your manager calling you, and you got kids that we need.
Right.
Go do what you need to do, because you did. That was in the reinforcement need. So maybe that's a change in dynamic in your relationships. You know, it's you better to know how to get the best out of you. So and to dealing with that specific situation. So get back on task. You get to work. It's not that bad. You built that fear up in your head, and it's coming from a different standpoint. Now you have context and perspectives that, hey, man, your boss is wanting to show you that I appreciate you, and I'm going to showcase your talents and show that you are changing and growing. So why not put that on display? That's helping the greater good of the company too. So that's a lot going on there. You just got to be able to hold yourself accountable, check your ego at the door, because pride comes before a fall. God, just let that pride go.
Gee.
And sometimes you just also got to know that you got to have different avenues that can spark that change. Because as I was socializing this very topic with my wife that we were going to discuss on the podcast, I said, hey, baby, what do you think that people need to take about change or think about change? You have to have it from certain ways. There has to be a switch where you hit it in your head and you move it yourself and you claim it and acknowledge it to go to that direction. But to get there, you have to have somebody tell you something, or you have to see it for yourself, or you have to do whatever you need to do, or have whatever sign God places in your life to spark that change, to actually make action to go towards the right direction. So until that formula is right and you actually do something about it, you ain't gonna never change.
Man. And I just think it's a part of it is just being flexible and embracing the change. And like you said, you can be negative to the change, or you can embrace it and make it happen and adapt to it. So like I feel like you was able to do that on the fly, and it's just like, okay, I got no remorse for what's going on. Like, I got to make it happen today. Today's the day. I got to make it happen as I would any normal day. And look, it turned into a positive day for you, and it went right.
It went right, man. And it's just like you said, getting that fear out of you. I think that's what keeps you from making those changes that you got to do, because you've been in this routine for so long. You're comfortable. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that failure to happen because you're in your routine. You get it. Yeah. You get that. Oh, I know how to put one foot in front of the other. And I know how to jump up and down. I know how to move my hands left and right.
The biggest thing I feel about change is like my hardest thing, and what I not my hardest thing, but the thing that I think I need to improve on, because I don't say anything is hard. You're just making it hard on yourself by saying it. But it's like it's the fact of communication. Communication it plays a big part because you're able to, release that stress or that pent up anxiety that you have with any change, and you talk to somebody about it. It may help you in terms of reducing your anxiety. So you're able to perform in the way that you always would or the way that you should with the change that's happening. So like you said, like you communicated, like, okay, this is what's going on today. And they communicated back with you like, hey, okay, well, I need you here. And it's, that's the communication piece right there. And it's like, okay, no, like I got to get out and do this. It's a part of it.
And it was 8 o'clock
Stick to the script.
Before I got up, really. And I had to be there at 10. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get up. I had no clothes laid out because I was working from home, right?
You sloughing.
I had no clothes out. So I got up. I was out the house 8:40. Let's get it. Got to work. It took me about an hour. Got to work 9:50 on the dot. Parking was right. Boom, right up front. 9:55, I'm in there. Computer up. Hi.
And
I didn't even miss it.
You got to give thanks to the man upstairs. I just always got there's no way you can. You got to do that. That's all.
Look, because he could have hit that switch and it would have been all
bad. Kill switch on you, bro.
I ran back through the day. The alarm went off at 6 a.m.
Man,
if that alarm didn't go off, first of all, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in my heightened awareness state because I was in some deep sleep, bro. I had my stuff set for 7:50. I was gonna roll out of bed. 7:50. You know what I'm saying?
It's 50, not 7:50.
Roll out of bed and just call it at 9:59. You know what I'm saying? Call into my meeting at 10. No, he was like, we need you front and center because such and such is coming in.
But look at it now. Man. Now your name on that greatness of what they gonna remember, man.
And no, you talked about the communication. You talked about a lot of things, P-Dub, but the biggest takeaway in general is just about comfort and being able to be uncomfortable because there's a lot of things tied to that communication. If you're uncomfortable having these conversations that you need to have to take you towards the right direction, you won't be communicating. If you're uncomfortable in how you handle things, it just determines how your ability to be successful. And the comfort is your ability to be uncomfortable. There's a direct correlation with that and how you grow to be the person that you are supposed to be. And there's so many layers deep, right? Because you can be not wanting to change. You just change a verse. You just fear everything. So you just stick to what you know and you're comfortable. And in your comfort zone, you just stick there and you don't grow because you need the positive feedback to get your confidence going. But really, you need the confidence comes to resent. Your confidence should not be attached to any type of results in your life. So the more you train your mind to get towards that aspect, the more you're going to put yourself out there because good or bad, it don't really even matter.
And it's a confidence thing too. And like you said, that fear can cripple your confidence, man. Because you don't want to fail. You don't want to go out there, put yourself out there, be vulnerable, and fail. So, I mean, if I had to take away from what we talked about, I mean, it's really you gotta get that fear out of you too, to have any type of success at change or even a shot at it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't keep going down the same path thinking things are going to always be the same. It's just not. The world is changing right before our eyes. Technology is changing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so we know what our definitions are. As always. Yeah. What is the literal definition?
And let me get into that right now. By Merriam-Webster, the definition of change is to make or become different, to make or become a different substance entirely, transform or alter in terms of. So.
Yeah, we pretty much hit it on the dot. Like transform was in there too. Yeah. That's real though. I mean, like we're doing this here. Like we're transforming something,
But it's both a noun and a verb, and sometimes you break down into it as well too. The act or instance of making or becoming different.
An alteration or modification.
The act. The act. Right. And that's it. I mean, you got to take action.
Hey, right. And one thing that you said, P-Dub, before this episode even started, change is always happening.
That's one thing about change, man. It's happening all the time, right in front of our eyes. And you can either adapt and stick with it, or you can succumb to it.
You can do this the easy way or the hard way. That's
no choice.
Be left behind. That's unfortunate.
So, speaking of changes, like in terms of Black history, who the biggest, most influential change changes in Black history to some UPW, ULI type. I can chime in as well for you. Like, who do you think are the biggest change changes?
Man, just because, I'm always into, saying how, health and, saying your health, mental, physical, whatever type it is. Charles Drew.
Nice.
Physician, surgeon, African-American. And then, he was able to, his research in the field of blood transfusions, it developed or improved techniques for blood storage, and he applied that large scale during World War II. And that saved many lives. And he was able to actually, later on, in 1943, his distinction within his profession was recognized when he became the first Black surgeon selected to serve as an examiner on the American Board of Surgery.
Wow. That's deep. So without this, man, we don't even have people knowing how to just recirculate the blood in themselves on that just regeneration to take us up. So he's definitely a trailblazer, path founder, deep down on the foundation. What about you, Al? What's someone?
Man, I mean, you know what? I mean, Mr. Dr. Drew, man. I mean, honestly, like, it's been one of those things where without that, man, I'm all about the medical field. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to go there as well. Okay. I mean, and it is. I didn't even know that, man.
Right, I didn't. So now, hey, now you know. We need that. What was the NBC? The do 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 do. Now you know
things to know. Yeah,
and things to know is your own history and your own heritage and claiming that, because I never knew that as well. But for myself personally, my top change agent, I'm a sports guy. I like all types of sports: basketball, football, boxing. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali. Just how much he changed the game from boxing. Yeah. He was talking that noise and still beating people, and black and strong and proud and standing up for it. He believed in and going to jail in his prime and going out and changing, transforming himself into a different religion. I'm a Christian, man, but whatever worked for him. But he changed himself to get to where he wants to go. I'm not knocking his hustle. Change, man. That's my top change agent right there, for sure.
And you gotta float.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. Straight from Louisville, Kentucky.
No, man. Appreciate you guys, man.
Louisville. Yeah.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Hey, we're gonna wrap this show up. We appreciate everybody for checking in and checking out Two Shot Guys a Mile High.
Yeah.
This P-Wil signing out.
Al Digger.
WB. Y'all stay blessed.
Keep
progressing.